Hello, my name is Yoko Ishikura. I would like to explain what kind of things that the SINCA series is now trying to do. Hello, my name is Yoko Ishikura. I've been hosting the SINCA series since September 2018. I would like to take this opportunity to explain to you the objective of SINCA series, which we started after we did Davos Experience in Tokyo series for about 5 years, and what are the kind of things that we are now thinking about. And after 2 years of trying SINCA series, with the COVID-19, we are thinking about the new approach to SINCA series. But before then, we wanted to make sure that we revisit the original objective of SINCA series. And at the same time, we wanted to make sure that what we are trying to do. So that's what I have in mind. And I would appreciate it if you could just take a look and of the activities that we have done in the past 2 years and think with us what should be the new approach. As a matter of fact, we are having one session, online session tonight, July the 26th, the last day of the other 4-day weekend. And we'll be talking about other things. We'll be talking about 5 topics. But in addition, I think we can talk about what are the kind of things that we would like to do in the future. So that's what we have in mind. And so let's go back to our original objective of SINCA series. The original objective of SINCA series is that we wanted to design the environment so that the people, regardless of age, regardless of gender, regardless of nationality, regardless of the background, can get together and think about some of the issues that we face today and share our ideas and hopefully develop new ideas so that we can work on it. And we wanted to make sure that we do it in English because of several reasons. One of the reasons is that despite all these things focused on English communication, which is a must in the global space today, not too many Japanese feel comfortable discussing or communicating in English, particularly so when they share their ideas and having a discussion on the current topics. So we wanted to make sure that we provide the opportunities so that anybody can come and share their ideas in English. And that, as a matter of fact, I don't think we have that many opportunities to express our views in English to start with. On top of that, not too many people or not too many opportunities are given to the people where they can share or they can express their own ideas in a risk-free environment. By risk-free, I mean that if you do it at the company, you may be worried about, am I going to be evaluated? Or am I supposed to be saying what I am supposed to be saying? Or if my idea is quite different from others, am I going to be criticized? And a lot of people may be afraid of being criticized if they think about or if they share their ideas, which is quite different from others. So we wanted to provide the opportunities where people can think about the topics and share their ideas, express their ideas to start with others, share their ideas, and probably come up with new ideas that is based upon their sharing of ideas. And that is why we decided to hold SINCA series. We started in September 2018. In 2018, I will show you all the slides of the sessions. and explain what kind of things that we have covered so far with the slides and pictures, so that you'll have a little better idea of what we have been doing. But that objective still holds true today. And I think in a way it is even more true in the post-COVID-19 era. I don't know whether we're going to have post-COVID-19 era or whether we will be with COVID-19, because I think we will have more pandemic and more risks on the global scale in the future, even though we are able to control COVID-19 this time. So I think in a way, we really need to develop skills to communicate and to be exposed to the current issues in the world and be able to communicate in English. Why are we thinking about the current issues? It is because I think, in my view, Japan tends to be quite isolated from the rest of the world. And I think it's partly because of the language, and because a lot of information is not in Japanese. So if you're just using Japanese as a language, you are cut off from a lot of different information sources available throughout the world. And in addition to that, because of the geographical location and physical setup of island, we tend to be isolated from the rest of the world. For example, a diversity, which has been a topic today in different places in a different context. I think the diversity in Japan is quite different from what they have been discussing in the rest of the world. So something like that has, you know, there are some other issues as well. So if you are, what I would like to do is to to expose the people to different ideas and different thinking and the different topics throughout the world, and they form their own views and express it and to share it with others. So that is why we are focusing on English as well as the current topics. So we have been doing this for almost 2 years. And in a way, I think with this COVID-19 gives us a good opportunity to think about, to revisit the original objective and to think about the new approach. Because I think in a way, the world is going through the tremendous transformation with this COVID-19. And I think we're right in the middle of it. And many things, many issues have been revealed, many inequalities, many unfair treatment and other things have been revealed. And I think it's a very good timing for us all to revisit and to rethink, review what is the objective of our life, what is the objective of our career, what is the objective, the purpose of our life. And in that sense, I really would like to think about the new approach to SINCA series, for example. And that is why, but before we do think about the new approach, I wanted to make sure that we review what we have done so far in the past 2 years, because we have some lessons learned and we wanted to continue some of the good points, and we wanted to improve on. So let me try it once again. And I am going to show the slides of our past SINCA activities. This is the one that we took at the end of the launch event in September 2018. Look at all those people who look pretty happy. And the topic at this session was, what would you do if you lose the job tomorrow? In other words, one of those what if questions that I wanted to try. And it was a very interesting discussion, and it was a very good way to launch the new SINCA series. Next, we tried a couple of sessions as the collaboration trial. And this is the one that we did at the Omotesando College. And that was a sort of nice try for the collaboration to see whether we can collaborate with them or not. The next one is the session that we did at Kyakubanchi in Shibuya, which is an incubator space. And this is a startup session. And we wanted to make sure that we have some startup sessions. So we tried this. And we had two startups who presented their concept and led the discussion. And it was very interesting because we wanted to make sure that they are prepared to make a presentation at the competition they were going to attend. And it was a very nice news that both of them won the award. One was in Tokyo and the other was in South by Southwest. So it was very interesting and very useful a session for us. This is how the discussion on the startups went at Hyakubanchi. And Hyakubanchi is such a nice place to have this type of casual discussion. And since this is an incubator space, I think the startups as a topic would fit the concept of the place very well. Next is the one that we discussed fake news. And that was the time that fake news became such a big topic. And we invited two journalists and to find out how long the fake news has been around. And it turned out that the fake news is around many years. So it was quite interesting. And we also learned how to develop a media literacy. And it was a very topical and very current, excuse me, discussion with the two journalists. And this is the picture that we took at the end of that session. This is the one that we did at BCCJ, inviting the Ms. Ogawa from Keidanren, who was in charge of Society 5.0. I had a chance to promote and explain and present Society 5.0 in many conferences overseas. And we wanted to have this session on Society 5.0 because it was not that well known in Japan yet. And the BCCJ was working on BCCJ 5.0. So we said, well, why not? And that was a very nice setup and a very good session. So this is the picture that we took at the end of this BCCJ session. It was nice to have quite a few people from BCCJ and BCCJ network. It's always nice to have a different network of people. This is the one that we decided to try music for innovation and new ideas. So we invited artists and lead us to the session, workshop. And this is a clapping session. And it's very, very interesting how we started separately, but then we merged. And the Makoto Yoshida, who is a clarinet artist, is leading the session. This is the one that we took at the end of this music session, and it was quite different. And at the same time, we practiced it, and everybody could tell this is how we can use music to generate new ideas. So that was quite interesting as well. Next was the SDGs game. We tried SDGs game developed by the Kanazawa Institute of Technology. and Professor Hiramoto, my past participants of my Global Agenda Seminar Series and the PhD at KMD, he and his students came to lead the session. And the SDGs game is very well developed and very well designed, and it lends itself very well to the discussion in English. And we try to figure out what are the trade-offs, what are the ideas that can be generated from SDGs. So this is the session, this is the picture that we took at the end of SDGs session. As you can tell, everybody seemed to have fun. And we had the fact that we had some students leading the session was very, very helpful and was very engaging. So we had a wonderful time. This is the session right around the time of G20. Japan hosted G20 in June in 2019, I believe, in Osaka. And that was the first time the Japanese government hosted G20. And we had all these people, including President Trump. And so we wanted to find out what G20 in Osaka means to us. And so we invited the journalists and also the political scientists to discuss the meaning and the significance of G20. So that attracted a little bit different kinds of audience as well. And it was very interesting to hear what these journalists and political scientists think about G20 and the role of the Japanese government as well as Prime Minister Abe. And we also tried to do some skill session. And this is the one we hosted at Code Chrysalis. Code Chrysalis in Azabu was kind enough to support and to host this session where a participant practiced coding and under the direction of Yang Fan, who is a co-founder of Code Chrysalis. And she is such a great facilitator and instructor, trying to engage everybody and involve everybody by asking questions. And it was not just the technical side of it. It was based upon the concept. It was based upon what are the collaboration means in coding. And since we did it in English, I thought it was very well done. As a matter of fact, because it was very popular, we did the second session later on in the year. So this is how they were working on. This is the picture that we took at the end of this coding and communication session. As always, we say, go, go, SINCA. And this is the picture of Code Chrysalis, which is very casual and very nice. This is the session that we talked about creativity with the Dai Fujikura as our guest. He is based in London, and he is the composer of contemporary music, as well. He produces opera as well as other things as well. And he's based in London, where he is since he went there in at the age of 14 or so. And he has become very, very popular throughout the world and now producing and composing a variety of music here and there. He comes to Japan quite often. He's an incredibly interesting person. And he talked about how you can develop or how you can unleash, I suppose, your creativity. And he is the kind of person who cannot stop talking, but we enjoyed him very much. And we also did the food tech session at WeWork Nogizaka. Since I spent my summer in Canada, British Columbia, I got to know what are the issues around food and because I tried Beyond Beef and other things, and Canadian people in particular has been quite aware and has been very active in food waste and other things. So we decided, since we haven't done anything related to food under SINCA, we decided to introduce food tech by inviting a couple of guests. It was a very interesting session, and their presentation was full of concepts and ideas, and it was just much more, quite overwhelming to all of us. So we wanted to try a piece of that, one topic of the food tech related sessions, but so far we have not been able to do it because of the COVID-19. And I think the things will change quite a bit after COVID-19. Food tech session without food doesn't mean anything. So we had a very nice catering service done by the person who have done some catering for us several times before. And it was a great food. And we had, you can tell how much we enjoyed. And on top of that, WeWork has a free beer on tap. So we enjoyed drinks as well as food. And this is how the SINCA has been held. We usually do have a guest or two or the topic, and we have a breakout sessions. And after that, we have a general discussion. And then we usually do have food and drinks, and we do networking. And the issue that, not the headache, but the thing is, people really enjoy networking, food and drinks, so they tend to stay until quite late. And we hold it on Friday evening, so we usually go on until like 10:30 or so. And I always have to tell them that it's about time, so you have to go home. This is the one that we hosted at Global Innovation Center of Shiseido in Minato Mirai, Yokohama. We wanted to hold the session, the company-sponsored session by Shiseido at Global Innovation Center, which is quite new and which is a fabulous, fabulous open lab. So we decided to hold it there. And the topic that we were discussing was, what is beauty today? And Shiseido's mission, or Shiseido's vision, is to bring beauty, quote unquote. So we wanted to discuss, what does beauty mean? On top of that, we wanted to encourage innovation and new ideas. So we invited two entrepreneurs, Miku Hirano and Akira Fukabori, to attend the session and to do the panel. It was a very interesting session. And as a matter of fact, we were going to have Akira and later on probably Miku as the guest to talk about their business in the separate SINCA session. As a matter of fact, we scheduled the session with Akira, who is the CEO of Avatar Inn, which was spun off from ANA Group on the 25th of February, I believe, but it was canceled because of COVID-19. So this session, Shiseido, was the last session that now we were not able to hold any session, real version, since January 25th this year. And when we were not able to have face-to-face sessions, we thought about what we would do. And we decided that we will hold the online session. So we have been doing online debate sessions and online discussion and breakout sessions since March, the middle of March. We started off with a debate session because debate is very easy to do in online. We use Zoom, and because the structure is very clear, and each person has a role to play. A debate lends itself very well to the Zoom type of online session. And we discussed several topics in the form of debate. The first one was whether we should hold Olympics or not, which was exactly the topic under the debate. It was done before the decision was made to postpone the Olympics. So that was a very interesting one, and we had a very good debate. And after that, we did online meetings at the companies, whether it's going to be more efficient and it is going to be more collaborative. So that was another very interesting debate session, debate topic. And we also did debate for beginners, because we found out that quite a few people had never had any debate. So we wanted to do something for beginners, and we wanted to do some very easy topic. That was a little bit of a challenge because we couldn't figure out how to do the four breakout sessions, and at the same time trying to do the debate between the two. So that's something that we're going to have to think about if we want to continue, but that was what it was. And we also did some sort of discussion type of session and in the small breakout groups. And the first one was that, what is your story, I believe. And we were trying to figure out what kind of impact that COVID-19 had to each one of us, and what they plan to do when the emergency status is cleared or lifted, because that was the time when the emergency declaration was on. And lately, we had two sessions in the breakout groups, and each one of these two sessions, we tried to do some current topics, and we tried to form the small breakout groups and taking the topic. And the one that we did last time was whether you will move to local areas, avoiding the cities. That was one of them. And another one is that if it is possible to go overseas, do you go to overseas trips? That was another one. And we also had some other topics, such as the application to detect infections. Do you install it or not? And so these are the kinds of topics that we talked about, because these are the current topics, and everybody can respond to those questions. And as a matter of fact, we will have another another session tonight, and we have several topics, one of which is that the cashless has risen quite a bit during the COVID-19. It's partly because the government and others are trying to promote cashless society, because Japan has not been the cashless society if we compare it with, for example, China. And so whether the participants will continue cashless or not. So that was the first topic, the topic. And another topic is that Yahoo announced that they will hire 100 people on the project basis for the second job, as the second job of their so if you work for the company, but if you want to work for Yahoo on the project basis, you can apply. And the question is, if the company that you're interested hire or is thinking about or recruiting the people on the project basis, do you apply? So that's the question. And in addition to that, we have some questions such as, we have a typhoon season coming. Are you prepared for, are you doing anything specific to prepare for typhoon season and other natural disasters? These are some of the questions that we're trying to respond tonight. And it's going to be done in the small breakout groups of 4 or 5 or so. And each one will have about an hour or so to discuss among themselves in breakout rooms. And I asked each one of them to select the leader as well as reporter. And after about an hour or so, everybody comes back and we will hear the report from each group. And after that, we will have a general discussion. That's the format that we're thinking about. And the reason why we stayed away from debate is because debate is very interesting, but it requires quite a bit and extensive preparation. So we have to make sure that we have enough people for affirmative and negative, and they can get to know, they can get together beforehand to prepare their reasoning. So that requires quite a bit of effort and time before we actually do the session. So we will be thinking about doing the debate. For example, we might do again the Olympics issue because that is something that we really need to think about and decide. And for debate, we may have a little more lead time. But for now, we are talking about the current topics that are discussed on any media, and each one can respond either way, and we can have a free and very casual discussion. So that is what we have in mind, and so I'm very much looking forward to the session tonight, and I hope that you will join us, and we will continue the SINCA online series probably every 2 weeks or so throughout the summer. So we will be announcing when we're going to do it and how you can register. So make sure that you keep we try to keep you informed. So make sure you are aware of what's going on. So that's it. I hope you have a good week. Thank you very much.